My name is Allison Carter. Child Protective Services was involved in my trafficking. I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested. They're ducking and hiding because everybody knows that there was children there.
People built these tunnels. There's a lot of elite celebrities. They go down there for parties underneath the Getty.
Denzel Washington, Beyonce Knowles, Ellen DeGeneres. Do you want me to keep going?
I don't want anybody's money.
Zell always told me we'd be at the parties. He said, you leave 30 minutes for the devil get there.
I'm telling you right now that something is really wrong. Really wrong. The world will find out soon.
Allie Carter has been speaking out about Diddy, Denzel Washington, and major celebrities, detailing these sick parties and scary tunnels that lead to underground cities. It looks like Allie Carter could be one step in the right direction when it comes to taking down Hollywood and those evil forces. So let's get into it. This is probably one of my most requested videos. You guys want me to dive into Allie Carter and the allegations she has against Diddy, so many more famous people, and the entire Hollywood community. Now, I have to be upfront, I don't know where this Allie Carter came from, but we're gonna go through everything that she's alleging. Again, I don't want to say that this is true or not, because again, I don't even know where she came from. But her videos are confirming a lot of the things that people suspect about what's going on with the elite. Allison Carter, also known as Allie, is a survivor of child trafficking and has alleged that the rapper's parties were not just gatherings but ritualistic. She goes on to say that she is one of those victims, revealing that she was once at a Diddy party as one of the party favors, which sounds disturbing, especially when you keep in mind that we're allegedly speaking about children. Allie shared that after going viral in 2020 that she and her family lost their home, animals, and everything they had. She's had to completely change her life after speaking out, and she goes on to say that Denzel Washington is as bad as Diddy. Allie shares that she's surprised to see that Diddy was in fact arrested, because she claims that she's tried to get county officials involved in the past, but ultimately they ignored everything she had to say because, I mean, who's going to go after him? While I do think Child Protective Services does so much, I don't think that they're going to be able to intercept Diddy's world.
My name is Allison Carter. In 2020, I went viral. We lost our home, we lost our animals, we lost everything. Child Protective Services was involved in my trafficking. I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested. And I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy. Just the same way nobody tells on Denzel Washington. People don't usually talk and stop and think about the children victims that are going through things right now as we speak, and the ones who suffered through all this bullshit.
Now, with everyone talking about Diddy and sharing their stories, we just talked about Nikki Heaton on the channel, which if you guys have not seen that, definitely go and check that out, but everyone's coming forward. She was quoted saying that Diddy's parties, they weren't freak-offs, they were ritualistic, sex things. Get it right. It wasn't just adults at these parties. The adults were responsible for these children, SLAVES, that were in the party, and one of those children were me.
Tried to tell you everything that we can, and now we have people messaging us, investigators, people that want to talk now, when now it's because it's trending. All the adults are, I left at a certain time, yet you knew children were there. You knew these parties were not okay. They weren't freak-offs. They were satanic ritual. It wasn't just adults in these parties. The adults were responsible for the child that were in the party. And one of those children were me.
What's scary to me is that, yes, I mean, I can't believe that Allie Carter was in this situation that she's alleging, but I also can't imagine, like, are there currently children who are still children who are considered victims? I mean, how, what was the most recent party that he had? And if they're as evil as that she's alluding to, I would assume it happens more often than not, and probably not always seen as a public, 4th of July party. She went on to say that other survivors and victims should be cautious when speaking to authorities, which is sad to think, but she is under the impression that these people are not reliable and may be working to take inventory. If it's a lot bigger than Diddy, a lot more powerful people, they may want to get rid of those, those witnesses, opposed to, letting all of these celebrities and these elites fall and go into prison. I mean, that's just not going to happen. We're not going to see 10 billionaires go into prison. We're going to see, hundreds of victims disappear before that. She said, we were followed the night that Diddy was arrested. I left a place that I was in, minding my own business, finally trying to stop for a second and get my life back. And you know what? I'm not even upset about that. Allie emphasized that any money involved in these situations were blood money, whether it was used to silence people or not, and made it clear that she didn't want anybody's money. She and her family relied on everyday individuals who would step up and help when possible.
Now, those who are trying to come at us now, talking like, oh, well, now the Diddy's out, now that you can talk. For why? Because we tried to have a case with Child Protective Services. We gave them 8 months worth of evidence. They took that case and they hid it. If you are a survivor and if you are a real victim, be careful. Because these hotline numbers that they're putting out, I don't trust them. They're taking inventory.
And then they shut it down. They're taking inventory. So don't trust them. Don't trust the feds. Don't trust the judges. F all y'all. You're all guilty. You're all corrupt. Any attorney that's taking money to defend Diddy.
True, Erica Wolf, I can imagine his attorney. How does she sleep at night?
Get a nasty and vile.
That's blood money.
That's blood money.
That's all blood money. You do know that, right? Whether you take money from him to shut up, whether you take money from him for period, that's blood money. I don't want anybody's money.
And there's a lot of graphic details that she comes forward with. For example, saying that her pinky is broken. It broke at the age of 12 because there were a lot of people who had her tied up. She expressed surprise at the possibility of Diddy being arrested and convicted. A lot of people called her out, asking whether she's trying to receive clout over this. But she goes on to say that she's unfazed by this assertion, that she in fact went through this, and she's going to speak about it whether people like it or not.
That all circles back to lies, and not everybody can fake their death. Even though some of y'all are sitting pretty, trying to make the excuse of, oh, well, they were so evil, I was just trying to be undercover. No, bullshit. My face is out there. You see all the people running? They're ducking and hiding because everybody knows that there was children there. But we're still not talking about the kids yet. When are we going to talk about the kids? Everybody's demanding something from the victims. Why aren't you demanding it from the news? You know he's about to turn into another Epstein, and then the list follows and it circles back into a web. So why isn't anybody demanding any information on the kids? Child Protective Services is your supplier. Is anybody going to talk about that? You don't live in the world you think you do. Everybody that you think is not guilty is about to show you who they really are. I've been screaming for years.
Now, she does bring up Denzel Washington, and I want to talk about this. A related headline reads, Denzel Washington allegedly stormed out of Diddy's party, yelling, "You don't respect anyone." Denzel Washington appears to be trying to get ahead of what's coming as it relates to his connection to Diddy's freak-offs. Word on the street is that some of your favorite celebrities were longtime active participants at these events. And it looks like we're going to see plenty of PR campaigns trying to lighten the blow. One of Diddy's alleged victims, Ali Carter, claims that she was a minor when he and Denzel harmed her at this event. According to the New York Post, Denzel Washington once popped off on Diddy at one of these all-night parties. Denzel screamed at Diddy before he stormed out, a source said, screaming, "You don't respect anyone." Denzel and his wife Pauletta had been partying until dawn with Diddy, and it looks like they had seen something and stormed out. Meanwhile, a comedian, Brandon T. Jackson, said that Denzel advised him to always leave Hollywood parties before the devil gets there. That's pretty scary to think about. He said that Denzel always told me that when we're at these parties, you leave 30 minutes before the devil gets there, okay? He said, I always remember that Denzel would leave these parties early.
Denzel always told me we'd be at the parties. He said, you leave 30 minutes for the devil get there. Okay? And when he would say that, I will always remember that Denzel would leave the parties early. And I follow Denzel out. I'm out. You see what I'm saying? Because when you leave 30 minutes for the devil get there, there's nothing wrong with going to the parties. Even Christ party with the sinners. You know what I mean? But when you leave 30 minutes for the devil get there, you know, you able to have your integrity. I meant off screen. It's not what you do on screen. What you do off screen is more important.
Now, again, I don't know where Ali came from. I don't necessarily know her story, but she's making a lot of crazy, I mean, not crazy. I mean, it's crazy because you just cannot even imagine that this is real, but they may be very real, very legitimate allegations against this entire industry. And looking at some of these claims about tunnels being under the Getty Museum and leading to celebrities' homes, it makes you question if there is this ring going on right below the Hollywood Hills.
Ron Jeremy, Denzel Washington, Beyonce Knowles, Ellen DeGeneres, Whoopi Goldberg, Lady Gaga, Chrissy.
Wait, okay, so she's just naming every celebrity, but also Whoopi Goldberg, something about her creeps me out. I watched The View every day for years and years. I never liked Whoopi. I never have.
John Legend, Joan Rivers, Rob Saget. Do you want me to keep going? And I'm still smiling, and I'm gonna continue to smile. And most of the majority of y'all who continue to ask me and gonna tell me that I'm pointing fingers to kiss my natural black ass and miss me with that shit. Bye. And when it comes out, don't come running back. I shouldn't have to get this nitty gritty for people to wake fuck up. I shouldn't have to say something like that for you to be like, oh shit, she's probably telling the truth. It is pathetic that people got
Clearly, Allie is very hurt. This person commented, she's so traumatized. Another person writes, I seriously pray for your safety. And when you see some of these videos where she's getting tearful and talking about this, you can't help but to believe what she's saying, because how could she be so emotional?
We have always said it is about the children. It's not just about me. Never just made it about me. I'm just the loudest one. Telling you right now, a lot of people don't want to get it. There's enough of you to do something, anything. Something happens to us after we get off this live. In the meantime, just want you to know I have dropped paperwork, documents, information
Our eyes do look so sad.
on everybody around the world. And I'm telling all of you insurance holders that are watching this right now, we are dead. There is no point for you to sit on that information. Do you hear? No point. Please, I beg you to please let everything out unredacted. As of right now, I've kept everything redacted. I've been letting stuff out slowly for 4 years. Not the main stuff, though. Not unless somebody uncovers it themselves. I'm telling you right now that something is really wrong. Really wrong. The world will find out soon.
This person commented, the FBI should protect her all the time. Another person writes, government is involved. Another person added, we can't do anything if we don't know what's really happened and who's involved. We need all the names and details. And there was an alleged affidavit released by Allie Carter, where she goes on to describe the party favors and the truth of what happened here, naming Brian Christopher Williams, Birdman, Denzel Washington, Diddy, and Giselle Robinson, young jock. This happened at the Playboy Mansion around 2009 through 2010 when she was in foster care. At this party, there were body cakes, which meant that the kids would lie on the table and people would put food on them and partygoers would eat off of the children. Everyone was searched and inside. The DJ sounded the music and lights flashed, signaling that everyone was in and the doors were closed. The signal that the intimacy could begin and that the kids that were brought to the party were party favors. Ooh. Favors meant that the kids were literally set on the table and people would come and choose them. Once they were done with the kids, they would place back on the table. Oh my god, I can't even. Partygoers went into a frenzy mindset when they saw, oh my gosh, one was having, with animals were involved in an area? Ew. The main room was big, like a ballroom. There were outlined doors around the edge of the room. Some doors were shut, but you could still see the food SCX table, the party favorite table, and all of this. Oh my god, this is actually too disturbing that we're gonna have to, like, one, censor a lot of this, and two, I don't even know if I want to talk about it. She makes claims that there were rules broken. She cried out for help. She ended up getting in trouble. At one point, she was forced to do things with animals that were there. Okay, another girl and I ended up throwing up afterwards, and they rubbed our faces in each other's vomit as punishment. Ugh. In other lives, she goes on to speak about child auctions, and it's so frightening.
But I know you guys have seen this picture. There's a picture of a baby. They got a picture of a bunch of kids tied to a wall. It's actually an auction. They're tied to a wall, and they're hanging on the wall. That's another form of an auction. Some auctions are very pretty. Some you get to stand. Some you got to be. I've had some really weird auctions. Buyers come through wherever you're at. Okay, there's a white kid, there's a black kid, there's a black kid, there's an Indian kid, there's a girl, there's a guy. They check everything. They have a taste. They walk into a room and they have basically like how you have, if you walk into a car lot and you're like, can I turn on the car? Can I sit in the car? Can I open the door? That's literally what's going on in an auction.
This is sick.
For children. We'll bring in a child to walk through that, to play in it, to lay in it, to put on their body. This happens on baby farms too. You understand that, right? Where they're holding babies, newborn babies, fresh out of the hospital babies.
This person commented, the world is so evil, it's impossible to be truly happy knowing that there is something like this going on somewhere. Another person writes, she's been telling these stories for years. Imagine that courage and being ignored while it's still going on. She said, I hate hearing about this, but it is so important. Another person writes, missing children, CPS had to be involved because these are the kids that nobody came looking for. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to cover Allie Carter's statements, her accusations, was that she talked about these tunnels. We've talked about Diddy's tunnels before, but she goes into more detail about the extravagance of it, how there are different rooms and ballrooms and elevators and things like this. And I want you guys to hear what she is saying because it is wild.
There's cities underground, there's warehouses underground, actual homes underground. People built these tunnels. There's a lot, and elite celebrities, they go down there for parties underneath the Getty Museum in Los Angeles, California. I was there for a cock party. We walked through the museum, through the garden area, and employees led us to underground tunnels. There is no way that you can just walk into a tunnel. The entrances and the exits are in your face, but there's no way that you can just walk through tunnels. You'll get stuck. The Playboy Mansion. The Playboy Mansions. I met some really elite people when I was there. I had to do jobs with some elite celebrities.
Okay, this like underground town has me spinning. This person commented, Rock City is a legit town underground. Look it up. I watched a TikTok where a guy had to make a delivery there. Another person added, she was in the Run This Town music video that was filmed in the tunnels. Oh, wait, what? Another person added, just imagine if there's a celebrity that faked their death and they've been living in these underground tunnels. Well, shoot, I could see it. This person writes, you can't convince me the government doesn't know about these tunnels, which I'm 100% sure they do. There's no way, with the amount of money it would cost to build those things and with how the government controls our world. I mean, unless there's this society that is not under the same kind of scope or just undetectable, I don't know. But Ali Carter has some really scary claims, and I feel like I'm gonna have trouble sleeping tonight, but I want to hear what you guys think of this in the comments below. Here's my email if you have any other video ideas for me, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.